talked to a lot of engineering teams. Probably a few hundred engineering teams in the last couple of years, and still counting. I really enjoy doing that. I like talking to engineering teams and sports, just to find out what their favorite thing of their job is, what's the worst part of their day, and then I figure out what's holding them back from being a high-performing engineering team. And when I'm not talking to teams there, I have a life outside of computers, surprisingly enough. I'm also an athlete and a coach, and I talk to teams there, because that's what I do. I like to talk to teams. And of many things, I play a team sport called roller derby. If you've never heard of it, which is a 50-50 shot, imagine it being rugby, but no ball, because the ball is actually a person, and everyone is on roller skates trying to kill you. And no, we don't punch people intentionally anyways. So, yeah, roller derby is inspired by talk a bit. I would like to say that my team that I play on are good. I'd like to say that we might actually be really good. We are currently ranked top 3 in Europe. We're ranked top 15 in the world out of about 2,000 teams that are playing this type of derby out there. So, not here to brag about my team, because I'm sure I do that all day long. And in such a new sport as well. But I do want to tell you how a story about how our team basically rebuilt itself during the COVID break, and how that actually relates to software engineering, and I'm So, apparently a pandemic happened. I know it's been a while now, but it has. And it's still affecting people today. But because it's an amateur sport, our sport actually had to take a pause for those couple of years. We weren't allowed to play. And after those 2 years, when it was time to get back together,
so bad here. I need to fix it.
Since then, a lot of people retired. A lot of people somehow found new hobbies. I guess there's other hobbies out there. And even left for other teams. When we tried to gather them along, a lot of people had some complaints. They didn't want to come back. They said that there was some toxicity and it was stressful, even some negativity. And after speaking to people, we found out that we had a problem. We actually had probably some other problems, but this is a specific problem I want to talk about, which are Rockstars. Rockstars, I have no problems. Well, so yeah, we had Rockstars. Surprisingly enough, even this niche sport has Rockstars, and because we are a really good team, we definitely have them. Rockstars with sponsorship deals and guest coaching appearances throughout Europe and even the US and around. And yeah, so we had those, and they had celebrity personalities. They were Rockstars. Maybe you'd be more familiar if you think about 10x engineering then. So what does a celebrity personality or a rock star actually mean? These are generally those people that draw lots of attention to themselves. Yeah, they're exceptional. They have really great skill. They might have some charisma. They're high profile. They might also overshadow all of the other team members that they're with. They are recognized for that high skill, both within and maybe even outside the team. Maybe they have a strong personal brand even outside, and they can attract focus to the company or the team that they're in, the resources that are provided. You might even be your own rock star if you think about your own team. Who's your rock star on your team? Do you have one? Are you that one? Bring it back to software. Rockstars, some people talk about that 10x engineer, people are always looking for this unicorn. 10x engineers have been around for a while. There's a study done in 1968 where they try to study these folks. 7 years of experience on average, and they are putting out some pretty good numbers. You got 20 to 1 program speed, you got 25 to 1 debugging, program size 5 to 1, execution 10 to 1, sound, right? Kind of, maybe, I don't know. Well, yeah, it could be a no-brainer, but also there could be some negatives and some downsides if it's actually not handled correctly. Which my team can. So I'm going to talk about some of these downsides. Might sprinkle a little two sports stories in there because that's what I enjoy. But also to avoid some personal names. I've used an amazing Lion Rockstar band via ChatGPT. Let me tell you which one I did that. So please ignore it. So the first downside would be some overshadowing, which I foreshadowed earlier on. Overshadowing, reduced recognition, stunted growth. So in regards to reduced recognition, when you have that celebrity personality on your team, it can often lead to reduced recognition for the other members of that team, which can actually demotivate them. When your team members' efforts feel like they go unnoticed, they might be inclined to actually put less effort out there than it's coming down. And they actually start depending on those folks. They might not get the same amount of chances, and they get that stunted growth. So we have exceptionally amazing skaters on our team, and when we have really high profile games, they might be there every single day. They don't have a break. They're like, yeah, I can't wait for this person to go on, like they'll deal with them. They start allowing some of these other skills to basically take over and allow them to shrink, basically. So while their skill play is really invaluable, there's also this lots of praise on that person too, like, oh yeah, they brought the game home, you think about your sport you enjoy to watch the movie. There's always that star player that gets talked about. But what about the rest of the team? And yeah, the other team members started feeling sidelined. It didn't always make them feel great. So they kind of resisted putting the same amount of effort if they weren't going to get recognized, if you know, people like being praised. And at Center Growth, thinking about the Rockstar developer that always takes the most challenging tasks, while maybe the other developers don't get that opportunity to be challenged in the same way, get to have that really fun, interesting, challenging task because that Rockstar will deal with it. It'll get done a lot faster. It's okay. And then you'll get to actually have that fun experience and get to learn it. Anyways, yeah, so this is actually an interesting one because, there were power struggles. When you have these kind of very well egos that are there, they tend to have power struggles. If they want something, they very well can get it because they have to wait. They do the vast majority of the work, they do the hard work, they do 10x the work. They end up swaying the conversation pretty heavily. Then you get communication breakdowns when that happens. And when they have that significant ego, that they're essentially not necessarily, they could be really good at what they do, but they might not be the best communicators and they might not be team players. And then you can have that communication breakdown, and it can lead to misunderstanding, it can lead to resentment, and people just don't want to be in a team, don't want to be that also. So you can think about if you have a Rockstar in your team mind, do yourself. You think about those team meetings or brainstorming sessions that you might have had with that person. Did you know that person's more senior, that person's more experienced, that person has a lot of weight that they can throw around. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to speak up in those kind of meetings, give you a perspective. And yeah, you'll lose diversity, you'll lose that innovation, you'll lose that creative problem solving because you're pretty much going along with this one person. This one's, I think, probably the more obvious one, but the cycle feeds itself, right? So if you give more challenging work to that Rockstar, while the rest are neglected, pretty much, depending on this person, they are no longer as capable as a Rockstar because Rockstar has more experience. They've been doing challenging tasks, they've been growing, and they're probably motivated to keep doing it because they get all that place of recognition. So that cycle creates this dependency. It digs a hole when you do it. And eventually you have single point of failure. This person unavailable one day, I don't know, he's sick, they go on holiday, or even they just go to a different company one day, they leave. That entire project that they were working on, that they had their heads down and things it seems so. No one else knows what's going on, no one else knows how to deal with it. Now they have to go through what this one person did and figure it out. Not as much skill, not as much context as the other person. Of course, that can lead to so many bad things. Project delays, missed deadlines, and just general stress on the fact that now you have to stop what you're doing and figure all this out. So knowing that, yeah, Rockstars can be your biggest asset, but that also makes them your biggest risk. Of course, there's two sides to every coin. This borderline. Yeah, Rockstars aren't necessarily bad guys. They're not. They're doing their thing. They were told to do a job and they do it. They're really good at it. But there's the other side, right? Where the pressure on those Rockstars to constantly perform can lead to burnout. Can affect their productivity and well-being. They have probably more workload because they keep getting more and more tasks put on them. They're expected to handle more challenging tasks. They haven't necessarily workload. They don't know how to delegate. They're just, they know that they're perceived as the most capable, and they don't delegate. They don't learn how to delegate. They don't grow.
This is so low.
More leadership position where they start delegating, it's constructive, and so they carry a lot of responsibility. Lots of pressure. They have that continuous pressure to perform at a high level, which can of course be taxing. Fear of failure, right? Like, when things go right, they get all the praise. When things go wrong, they feel like they have to be done because they don't see as a team who can do it as an individual. And of course, as well as being the belongingness because the go-to person can create that sense of isolation, or they feel like they can't rely on the team for support, where they don't have professional catch-up, where they don't get as support from leaders, they are expected to perform at all times. So that same tendency that cycles across the team also affects that roster, where they can feel like they can even call out sick, they can go on holiday, because if they go away, everything will fall apart. When they come back, they'll be worse off, and they
it's not just folks.
So it's not really a win for anyone.
I don't know if we should tell them to.
It was a short story. One of our wonderful rock stars, but she broke her hand
Because that's
at a
what it's
game.
doing. Black and white.
It's been a while. But yeah, she broke her hand. She ended up making some crazy wrist guards. Three wrist guards. Her hand from the club. Just to make sure she could play the next game. She was playing with her hands. And she's talked about it before. She felt like there was just so much pressure on her.
Yeah.
She broke when we lost a massive game not too long ago. It was just like the pressure was just too much. And it should be like that. It should be across, shared responsibilities across everyone. And it's the same thing with even teams where that's someone who's into the project, work late nights, lots of overtime just to get things done, to meet those deadlines, to make sure everything's up to legacies right? Didn't really spread the load around. They get more irritable, they get less productive, they burn out.
Then it looks fine there.
Or they leave to find a career job somewhere else where it's not so much. Now what does the team do? You depend on that person, right? Yeah, everything's on the serious stuff. This has no flow to I just like because it's sugar, but there's no lot of experience, sorry. But it's that same concept where you have your biggest asset, your Rockstar engineer doing the core module that they're maintaining the big complex stuff, everyone else gets a little job, and all of a sudden he burns out, they leave, everything falls apart. So Rockstars are common. There are people that are just really good at their job. They work really hard to get there. That's okay, right? They're in sports, they're in cool line bands, they're in all sorts of teams, their software teams, mean that we're all doomed because they're around? Do we ban them? Absolutely not. Right? We can use Rockstars to our advantage, right? If Rockstars are so great, how do we get everyone to have this Rockstar as really what is that? Sprinkle your Rockstar dust on me, right? How can we build that to be a team? So when we came back from COVID, there was a commitment to that we would build our team, but we would make that commitment to build depth in our team no matter what. First up, fostering a learning culture. Fostering a learning culture and promoting psychological safety. So encouraging a culture of learning and improvement where every team is motivated to develop their skills and their knowledge is really what we're talking about here. Specifically underlining culture because it's learning is seen as a part of everyday work, not just that occasional activity that happens every once in a while or that big thing that we do. We'll break down what that actually looks like in a bit. Psych safety, psychological safety, how do I promote it? Creating that environment where team members are safe to express their ideas, opinions, concerns without fear of ridicule or retribution. It's a difficult one to get. If it's not something that's in your organization now, that's something you want to work on. That's that really encouraging open discussion, really tuning in, having that active listening in meetings, not dismissing people, making sure that everyone's heard and valued. It can be really difficult. A lot of people don't even realize that they're attention, or dismissing people, or not letting people roll sideways, right out of it. But it is something that takes effort. It takes a lot of effort. But you can do that with open communication, by building trust, and encouraging listening. So the communication and transparency bit. So yeah, keeping your communication lines open with the team and just regularly updating them. Do you have your stand-ups, demos, and retrospectives in place? Do you discuss your progress, your roadblocks, your own tasks? Not just the thing that you're working on, but all the things that affect it, all that system stuff, all the stuff that the outside pressure, how the work's coming in, what's actually causing you to like how are you testing your things, not just the actual real task. Is it done? Is it calculated better? Or are you looking actually about the flow of your system? Making sure that everyone's on the same page. That's what all the updates are for, the stand-ups, the demo, making sure everyone has that transparent, shared visual. Promoting those open discussions, where everyone can feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and feedback. It goes back to that psychological safety, allowing everyone to have a voice. I know in my own team, Roadies, like every time there's instruction, there's a sustained done question, and we make sure that no one's allowed to shut people down for this question, so we're allowed to laugh. No one's allowed to even talk down on themselves when they ask a question. Like, I know this is a done question, but no, don't think so, try again. It's not a done question. Like say, more possibly. So that's something that we do. And I know when we talk about software engineering teams, I love retrospectives. I think they're fun. I don't know why, but I love them. I think they're a great time to talk to your team and get everything out, talk about the wonderful things you did, talk about the not so wonderful things you did, and you can always have lots of fun with doing that. Experimenting. You're a country then, you know? Encourage risk-taking. Encourage experimentation, right? That's how you foster the innovation and continuous improvement. So trying a new strategy even, trying a different direction, can also allow maybe someone else to shine. Maybe not that rockstar that's really good at this one language or really good at this one skill. Now you have this other engineer who's actually, well, if we're going in this direction, that's actually my background and I can shine in this. So it's almost like rotating the abilities around by trying different things. And it fail. And I think that's another part of psychological safety that we're all very aware about experimentation, taking risks. That's how you encourage it. If it doesn't work out, it's just a matter of fact. It's nothing negative. It's just a learning point. Take it, move on, do something else. And that's alright. Knowledge sharing and collaboration. So knowledge sharing and collaboration is just crucial for a strong cohesive team. Documentation is really great. Using platforms like Roadies, your internal blogs. We love sharing random facts at our own company all day. Just sharing everything we can. Having your own blogs, having random discussions all the time about things. That really helps with understanding each other. And just creating that crowd of work environment where we can constantly have time to work together. Of course, implementing peer programming is a pretty great thing as well, and also some favorite demos. Pairing. They're pairing on the computer. I loved it. So pair programming, I really love pair programming. It's such a powerful technique that fosters collaboration and knowledge sharing. So not just on the hard things either. Every time I talk to teams, all the hundreds of teams I've talked to, when I ask them, do you pair? They're like, yeah, sometimes. It's like, when do you pair? Usually when it's a junior communal team, I'll pair with them for a while until they're up to speed. Or maybe it's just a really hard problem, really complex, and I think someone to jump on my call and we'll work it out together. That's what I consider pairing. That's not really good. When I say pairing, I mean not just the hard things, I mean on everything. The idea is not to get through the problem, but the idea is to share your knowledge, to not have single point of failure. So every time you work on something, someone else knows about it. And not only that, pairing has so much more benefits. Not only do you get feedback constantly, it improves group quality significantly, and it just generally promotes continuous learning as a team, so they can share those skills and insights as they go forward. We'll talk about them, but that's not today. Frequent demos, we got this software. So, frequent demos are an effective way to showcase progress, give feedback, and share alignment. Just like pairing, it needs to be regular. It's not on the big things. It's not on the hard things. It's not every 6 months I show the whole company what we did. This is every week I'm going to show my team what I did. I know it's a small thing, but it matters. And that's how you make sure that recognition is right. It's not just a big thing. It's, look at this cool thing I included a drop down to, I don't know what it is, but it could be small. And then you're like, this is what I did. It was pretty easy. I'll show you how I did it. It's something I've never done before. Or, yeah, it's pretty difficult, but I figured it out by this. That's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to have a presentation to it. It doesn't have to be fun. You're just sharing your knowledge. You're getting people to see what's been going on. Everyone knows what everyone's doing at that point. Everyone's getting recognition for all the work that they've done, big or small. And you can feel like you're pulling together as a team. Lots of questions can be asked. People might be interested next time around, like, oh, that's a really great idea. Maybe I can, like, I have this idea of this one thing that would work really well with. It really works to get people to collaborate. Creating balanced teams, giving opportunities to other people to shine. So, if you're at Rockstar, this is something that has to be very conscious. If you're a leader, this has to be really intentional, but in teams, we like to do role rotation. Things like stand-ups, it doesn't have to be the same person every day doing stand-up. It doesn't have to be the same person all the time when you're done with the rest of it. It can be rotated. It doesn't have to be the same person doing really complex tasks all the time. This allows people to stretch themselves in ways that they're not used to, on all the things that maybe their strengths. Like they can do a lot of things with their strengths, but they can also work on regular opportunities. But yeah, even in our team, we like to give people rotation. So instead of just like, there are a lot of teams out there that play the same 5 people every single play with poor souls because I'm sure it's exhausting for a straight hour. We like to give rotation and equal rotation. It doesn't matter if stars and whatnot. You get one on, one off, just like everyone else. That allows everyone to have the same experience in high pressure environments. It allows people to be leaders. It allows Rockstar to have a group. It allows, all this experience, this knowledge sharing, everyone having the same conscious task. It's much better than having everyone stick to something. It gives everyone a chance to shine. Mentoring. So, this is really where Rockstars can really be Rockstars, where they can really earn that title, I suppose. Because mentoring is a really powerful tool for building depth and transferring knowledge in the team for a lot longer, helping people really get careers. So you can create those formal mentorship programs if you don't have one, where you can have experienced teamers basically match really the less experienced ones based on their career goals, things like that. You can also encourage informal mentoring relationships with the team where you just seek advice and support from the leaders. There's lots of ways of doing that. You can do it through social programs and stuff, like coffee meetups for informal stuff. Or you can just do like more formal mentorship, listen to all the things that you're looking to learn, and someone go, oh, I know that thing really well, I'll totally mentor you on that. And lastly, having a team first mentality. Yeah, so fostering that team first mentality is essential for building that cohesive and high performing team. Promoting that team success, encouraging that culture where the team is prioritized over individual achievements. If you are, a leader in your company, think about how incentives are given. That's a really good thing to incentivize a team versus an individual. And by celebrating team accomplishments and recognizing the contributions of all members through retrospectives, where you can do things every week, and do demos where you can see everyone's really good support. You can celebrate that. Of course, promoting that supportive and collaborative environment where team members can help each other and just work towards their common goals, having a shared goal, having a shared vision for the whole team, not just the individual. So, by shifting from that rockstar-centric approach to that team first mentality, you can create that supportive, innovative, and high-performing team. So not only enhances individual growth, but also drives that collective success of the entire team. So if maybe you're a rock star, think about maybe your habits and are you doing those not so nice things and how can you fix that? Or and just how do we build a more stronger, cohesive team? Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Shay. That was lovely and an insightful talk. Can't agree with everything you said there more. So we're going to roll on to the second talk soon. So quick loo break, restock on the booze or the non-alcoholic stuff or whatever you're drinking. The pizza's going to be here after the second talk, so apologies. Food is on its way. That's a little bit so yeah, let's go up to the bar and go from there.
out of curiosity, well, someone who loves engineering in front of me is not every day that I've got. Does anyone would like to tell me when you listen about this project manager coming back to you or this business guys? Listen, I have this legacy and I want to bring to the cloud. What is your first thought? Deadline? Oh, come on, it needs to be an engineer. Engineer mind. What would be your first thing? Anyone else? Sorry? That's a good one, that's a good one. Okay, I can see the audience is not cooperating much, but, well, let's see. Containers probably, no? When you go to the cloud, I would guess, no? You are engineers, yes. Or I'm in the wrong room here. Okay, at least I have one engineer here. Sir, what's your name, please? Okay, Neil, thank you very much for helping me out. Just a quick one. Would this be your first thought when you listen? Okay, let's move a legacy to the cloud. This is your image? Yeah. Right? What would be your image then? I'd be like, what the hell is this thing doing for this one? Well, you're pretty much advancing the slides, right? You are right. Right. We will get there in a bit. No, don't be sorry. What you are right. You cannot be, all of us, right or wrong. There is no right or wrong thing. But usually, engineers think about containers. Oh, it's going to be amazing, like, oh, a big ship. Oh, gosh. Let's see. Well, and what would be the project manager or business first thought? Do you have a project manager in the room? No? They were not invited? Okay, good to know that. Well, so I think I'm going to jump. Do you have an idea?
On time, on budget, faster, more reliable.
Okay, these are the answers, but okay, we will get there in the future slides. Come on, guys, I was expecting you to think a bit. When? Oh gosh, when? Yeah, I was thinking like, we have another technical problem here. Hey. All right. I'm expecting the business to think about, wow, this guy is in the cloud. I don't know what it is because I'm not a technical guy. I don't understand. But someone told me that, well, if I pass this application to the cloud, amazing things will happen. Correct. That is usual. If we talk about budget, money, time consuming, but they usually come, well, I can start as a project manager if I move this legacy to the cloud. But guess what? They don't do that. It says. And we get the kind of, well, the time, come on, you're taking time. Or the budget, you already passed the budget. Or, what are you doing? 5 o'clock, where do you think you're going? I see, all of this marking. No, we all be there. You might have. Well, I've got a 3-year-old son who's amazing. I did the same question to him. I was curious to see, well, what are you like? 3-year-old, I know, as a software engineer, the project manager, business development. What do you think? Love
Serverless.
Serverless, not serverless, right? No, let's think about this guy. Straight away like, And with these, comes something to my mind that, the old school or the old teams of operations, you know those guys. Is anyone from operations here? That's just operations? Whoa, we have one there. Oh, at least I'm curious. Don't take me wrong, I need to go there. I really do. Hello, sir. What's your name, please? Avi. So, Avi, what would be your first thought when we talk about these, and especially if you see this Meetup or Monolith going to the cloud, passing to the operations team, what would be your first thought? Well, no, I love that one. Please.
Life facts.
That would be the operation. Yeah. Okay, I would imagine that. Finally, I guess someone from the operations team because, well, it is what it is. Poor operations people, they will think like, we need to carry this monolith like poor old monoliths, right? Like, here we go again. These guys are just invent more work and we don't go, oh gosh. Anyway, that's old school. Nobody everybody's wondering what do I think when I think about passing a monolith to the cloud, about containers. I already present myself as a software person, like all of you. I've been a little bit everywhere in the IT industry, but I want to keep myself doing stuff, doing code. That's where I love. I'm not a project manager, by the way. So please, this stays here, no internet, please, okay? Alright, so what about me? Does anyone wants to ask me what I think about this? No, thank you very much. Thank you. I love you. You're going to stay with me a little bit here. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can go to my next slide. Ooh, no, it's not really just what I think. I think about, let's see if I can do a little bit of a video experience. Anyway, this was the technical problem, it's not technical problem. Let's see if I can. Oh. Well, since then
Go look.
we can find a way. I know, you've been waiting for this moment to see a bit of all use. I know. It's not because of me you are here. It's not true. Ah, okay. Never mind. Okay, because the technical issues that we faced previously, this time I cannot present the video or no, nothing. So this is Star Trek. Do we have Trekkies in the room? Whoa, alright. I'm curious. I'm so nice. Yay! Thank you so much, sir. So, what you see here on the video is, I see microservice containers attacking the monolith! I hope you identify with like me. I like Star Wars and Star Trek combined, actually. I like those roles. So don't take me wrong Trekkies, don't take me wrong Star Wars. But yes, when I saw this, when I was in the movie, I was thinking, gosh, those spaceships, they are containers, they are microservices. And they are attacking USS Enterprise, the monolith. Is that monolith worth it, right? I don't think so. I'm a Trekkie guy. I want Star Trek to survive, right? Star Trek was built with a purpose. Or am I wrong? No? Do you agree with me? At least with this vision, I hope. This is a good vision about containers and monolith, a war. I know that in our industry, people talk a lot about what is best. Monolith, let's move everything to the cloud, let's do microservice, let's do containers, let's go, the project managers love, everyone loves. Is this correct thing to do?
I ended up in a hybrid practice organization.
Oh, right. We have here a good opinion, actually. Well, it's in the video. No. Please.
There's always a part of the monolith. I'm going to translate the term like that. Never been left alive as broken chunks, sticking out and jabbing everyone with their sharp edges.
Oh, what's your name, sir?
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant. You look like Shakespeare of IT. That was amazing, really. That is actually what I feel about when they come to me, hey Ricardo, let's move this legacy to the cloud because this will work. Are you sure? Oh, we don't care, we have millions to spend, let's go. That's what usually happens. I think you agree with me. And then, well, guess what? We need to do it. And if you don't do it, well, you are in the wrong end. No, you are not. But again, we have a way of doing things. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. Hey, okay, we have the objectives. So, this mix here, you can see here on the board, like, we have the guys from the project minor financial, the return of investment, OPEX reduction, maximize revenue, time spent support is money flying by the window. We need to move to the cloud. And you guys are, oh no, this is financial. But well, there comes always an agile coach. We have agile coach here. Don't tell this to agile coach. ways of working. Those amazing DevOps transformation that never ends. Simplification. You need to simplify this. How many lines of code did you done in your entire life? Customer satisfaction, guys. Customer needs to be happy. That's definitely what the customer needs, but okay. Speed to market. If you ask how fast we need to go, I know what they're going to tell you. It's from this. But guess what? In reality, is the truth. They were playing golf with someone that told them, we went to the cloud and guess what? We are the best in the industry and we're gonna get there. After they're playing golf, they have legacy. You need to speak to the team, and then on Monday morning, that first meeting of the, it's not meeting, they call it stand-ups, but then you spend the entire morning, they just, you have all these requirements, we go to the cloud now. Oh, here we go again. Fine. You played golf, you lost. Isn't easy to work in IT, right? But I love it, by the way. Let's be honest with you, it's not only complaining, but this is the reality of every day. So we need to be smart about what we're going to do next. We have miss. So from this lovely audience that I'm learning a lot, which miss here is your favorite? Does anyone want to tell me? There are several myths about, well, let's go to the cloud. Which one would you love? Well, I can tell you straight away. This one on gold it's my favorite one. Well, if I earn a penny for each time I heard this sentence, I probably would be retired right now. Probably in a nice beach enjoying Moreira or something. Because that's why I keep listening. You guys never work on IT? Oh, this go to the cloud, guess what? It's amazing. Patching, boom, security, boom. Oh, you don't need to work anymore. OpEx, think of the past. Operations teams, out of job. Simple. But guess what? Then they're going to knock the door of operations teams and say, hey, we choose that. You've been warned. You usually warn your line manager, right? No? So I'm going to give you a motive. Is when you're working a project like this, and I heard that from the previous presentation, is be honest, be transparent. Don't be afraid to say what you feel. Because if you not be honest, believe me, it's just a matter of time that will bite you back. Because they're going to ask you, oh, if you don't raise the flag, don't be afraid, like, you raise the flag and they're going to be against you. That such thing doesn't exist. Feel free to have a word. Because at the end of the day, it's the words that you're going to write on the keyboard that's going to make to happen the legacy or the monolith to the cloud. Well, if the monolith is being to the cloud. We'll see. Oh well. Security is all over the speed. Cloud will handle everything. Security is moving to the cloud. Cloud's that security. Who loves a good hack, you know? Nowadays. Careful with that. That's a build-up plan. That's a build-up plan. And this disclaimer, no production environment will be armed during this process, so don't worry. So from operations back there, we're not going to do this in a production environment, but we're going to do this in this room. I heard some gentlemen here that were already kind of speeding up. And yeah, don't pull me that face, don't pull me that face. You are my rockstar, if I find correct, please. Yeah, you are my rockstar at the moment. So, let's do a plan. That dating, they were only 4 or 5, right? We are several, and it wasn't on the internet, so we are deeply. That's good. So, can you help me out the line of plan? Because I love what you said.
What is the application doing now?
Requirement. Does now. And well, I'm going to try to keep my hat off that later. And what about the future? What about the roadmap? Does that worry you, or it's only about the now that worries you?
The future's important. The tire really goes in factory, all the others.
Again, that way. By the way, are you an architect? A bit of everything, but the worst person? I'm curious now.
Not good enough.
Okay, what is your role?
At the moment, I'm a product manager.
Product manager. I'm not speaking with you again. Sorry. No. Well, does anyone else apart from our product manager wants to speak about? He's now not my best person here. I'm sorry. No. Well, does anyone have a plan about how we're going to break down this legacy monolith, or we just follow the lead and just follow the flow? 3 tiers? How are you going to break a monolith in 3 tiers? It's a big one. Look. Front end. Middleware.
It's our job, isn't it?
Well, anyway, why not with nothing? Because
I wasn't in
you were an engineer, yeah, I can see that. But you're not a very tricky person, because I remember the video. Do you see the Star Trek being split in 3? Now, come on, you want to ruin the Star Trek? Guys, Trekkies, you have here a person that wants to destroy the Star Trek. That beautiful monolith that flies in the space, he wants to break it. Not a very big person, but anyway. Plan the transformation, define objectives. Clarify what you want to achieve. This is really important here. And then the next step that is important is obviously select a migration strategy. Well, let's have the migration strategy. What do you want? You want to refactor, re-platform, or rebuild the entire application? Yeah, rebuild the entire application, I never heard that one. Project manager come to you. Oh, let's rebuild this 10 million, let's do from scratch. I never heard of that. Oh, what? I have someone here.
It says refactor, replatform, or rebuild the application. Why or? Why not? And.
I love this man. Now you are my favorite one. Now you are. What's your name again, please?
Max.
Okay, before I don't want to do the same mistake, because again, you learn by mistakes.
Yeah.
Again, from the previous, see, I've been paying attention.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't be afraid to do mistakes like I did. So now I'm going to ask you first, what is your role?
I won't say product manager. I'm a cloud architect and engineer.
Okay, I love the last bit engineer, so my new best friend. Thank you very much, sir. Anyway, my favorite is incrementally refactoring parts of the monolith into microservice. But again, if possible. But let's think. Okay, it's possible. Let's pay attention to this bit here about the incremental refactor. Do it slowly, if that is possible. Don't be afraid about the project manager, the product owners, or the scrum masters of this life that it needs to be for tomorrow. No, because if it is tomorrow, guess what? If you fail, you're going to be back, not to you, but the poor guy of operation for that. That's your soul, right? Really. Thank you so much for being in the production environment. That's why, see? No production environment in this planet, okay? No arm, we are stable for now. Oh gosh. Oh, that I love. And the time takes together. What's next? So, the implementation. Let's implement what we plan. So, I know that in cloud we have all of these big jargons that people love to mention about load balancing, to monitoring, logging, security best practices, new CI/CD, deployment strategies, Canary, using, well, I'm going to say this first brand, but Kubernetes. You heard about Kubernetes? You remember the first slide? For the ones that are not software engineers or it's a product, remember the slide number 2 with the big container? That's it. I know that without here, I saw some t-shirts about some open source tools, I'm not going to mention the name. CI/CD, the monitoring, the stuff. But again, what is important is that you gradual transition. Do it slowly, guys. slowly, there is a pattern that I will try to avoid this in a minute. I will say it. The first me to that is the stronger pattern. Hi, I'm not sure. It's just describing the thing. Thank you so much, sir. And your name? Tim, what is your role? But you are a different architect. Okay, you are one of the mine, don't worry. In the end, I want your CD. I hope you learned something about, I didn't know that. Okay, I know about the person that's committed, and I try to avoid saying to the people that are non-technical as us, when I mention this regular pattern, they look at me like, you murder someone? No, not really, guys. It's like, we need to do about the transition. It's like defining really well the borders, but I'm not going to bore you to death about my driven design here. It's probably another afternoon if you have more time, next time, without these technical issues or whatever. You need to define boundaries. If you can. Again, I need really, the problem is, almost every week, no, not every week, but every 2 weeks, another days. But you need to keep to explain these guys, like, if it is working, why on earth are you going to touch it? It's working, yes. It's secure, yes. So what is your value to go to the cloud? It's trend. Okay, if it is trend, why a new jeans or a new jacket? That's trend and fashion. Here we're not fashion guys. Here we are guys that work at something, on something that really works and gives us pleasure. For instance, if the legacy, we can, again, if we can migrate to the cloud, and if we can really clear design those boundaries, yes, go for it. Now we'll do the first one, let's do it. It's a nice challenge, let's break apart. But again, remember the Star Trek. Nobody breaks the Star Trek. Again, if it is working, if it is lovely, you don't break it, the Star Trek, period. Why for? You like those small sheets, microservices scheme, but in the end, well, I don't want to be a spoiler. Star Trek 1. It's the truth. It's the truth. Anyway, moving forward, because I think I'm losing a bit of time here, because in the end I left the last slide. A little bit about myself. Incremental rollout. Let's speak about incremental rollout. Does anyone has something against incremental rollouts? Any opinion in the audience? Anyone? Or do you want to do a big bang approach? What would be better for you guys? Big bang? Who mentioned big bang? No, sorry. No big bang. No, okay. Going back to the big bang. It was you, sir, that mentioned big bang.
You know about hackers.
Oh, no, not you, come on. Okay, no big bang, please. Okay? It's the worst mistake you can do. I know people are going to say, yeah, let's do it, let's happen. No, do it as a small step. Even if they come back to you, oh, that's going to take ages, or you have a plan, no, you are agile, it's ready, go, let's go for it. No, guys, again, that's why I asked first if there was an agile coach in the room, because they're going to hate me. When I mention these things, they usually hate me, but again, it's life. Because in the end of the day, I want my service to be alive and rest and sleep. Listen, guys, I think they're agree with me. I hope so. Hey, if you don't agree with me in any means, please let me know. Okay? This is not about agree or disagreement. I'm not Mr. Right, by the way. We are the Mr. Right. That's what it matters. And again, remember it in the previous presentation and about what I feel and believe is we only succeed when we are a team. Even if we are working with things that, like this, many people say, microservice is the future, monolith system of the past. Well, I heard this back in the industry, like AT framework first time. Oh, AT is the future, my gosh, and then DevOps is the future, and then IoT is the future. Hey, come on, guys, the future is not jargons. The future is you as we build together. You don't build the future by jargons or by, sorry, no project manager, I hope. The they come back to us, I have this amazing project, I don't know what needs to be done. But again, remember the planning and requirements. That is my favorite product owner mention, because that's really important, because you are delivering value. We are delivering value. Without delivering value, you're out of job. Unless you are right with that. That's before. Monitor and adjust. So, when I was speaking about doing a plan or phasing stage while of delivering microservice or whatever, because in the end, if you have an entire monolith and you can still deploy in the cloud, because that could work in an ideal world, let's say, you could have one function or one feature that could be in one service. Small service. It's still microservice, it's just one, that's it. Probably going to be more in the future, we don't know. But what is very important is when you do this stage rollout, you keep monitoring and keep adjusting. Because, well, we only know the reality when things start to be in production actually. You can have as many lots of performance testing as you want. QA, teams everywhere, security, whatever you can think of, but when it goes to production, there is always something that everyone forgets. There is something, always. But then, you're going to hear from someone that is not technical, who did this mistake? Okay. How many times? It looks like again Darth Vader is coming. Which one in the room did this? And we look to each other, no, we followed it. We followed the compliance, we're not compliance. What happened? Nothing happened. You asked us to, it's ready, go to production. You test it. I don't care. At least it happened with me on the first several times, but you need to do again. Go slow, steady. Because what is in production today, probably in a couple of weeks you need to change that microservice. Someone wants him to interact. It's the force talking with me. Anyway, problem. So, not all applications are suitable for the cloud. Thank you, sir. It was because of your routines. Okay? Just now. Assessment. This gentleman here. Thank you so much, sir. My favorite new project manager, right? Planning, security, testing, automation, FinOps as foundations. If you go to the cloud, oh bless you, if you don't have FinOps, well, I hope you have a oil somewhere, hidden, I don't know, or a gold mine even, because you're not going to be right. Be careful. Cloud, think about money, cost, because your dearest project manager in the end or Scrum Master will ask you, where is the money gone? That's it, 1 month. So, anyway, build and deploy, CI/CD and containerize, data. I didn't speak much because about data, I could have another session with all of you about data. You need to think about data when you go to the cloud, yes. You need to think about data when you do the microservices, but most importantly, and tonight I didn't mention that much, is security. Because the data is the value that you deliver in the internet in your systems. And if you don't think about security in the first instance, it's not about refactoring the database or having a new schema or that new powerful database comes to the market. No. If you forget about security, well, probably going to be doomed. Because that's your goal. And that's what other threat actors, they want. They want to pursue, they want to ransomware, they want to, well, sell to competition. They want to ruin your day. And where they want is on this bit, data. So, only because you see one word, don't think this is the less important, because actually, this deserves only one session for me to talk only about data and about refactoring, and probably talk a bit what ACID probably means around data or not means, but again, another session. Last but not least, the important SRE, monitoring, logging, load balancing, and auto-scaling. Remember, you need to continuously monitor your microservices or wherever you got in the cloud and be ready to improve. Never think that it's closed. Remember in the beginning that I mentioned, oh, it's in the cloud, that's it, it's finished. No, it's not. It's a continuous work. Your market change, the people change, the product change, and the patches and security to keep changing as well. Now, in the end, what I talked here today with you, ways of working is important, SRE, be an enabler, agile, No silos. I was making a joke. Video again. Sorry, you are really my favorite since the beginning. Project manager and Scrum Master. Lesson, whatever. The non-technical guys, we need them still. The no silo is really important. Everyone needs to be accountable for the system. From those guys that are making jokes, I hope I still get the joke tomorrow. From the product manager, everyone needs to be included because we never know where the solution is coming from. Usually it's out of the box, and the people that can think out of the box is actually the people that are not every day looking to the system. You would be surprised sometimes where the solution is coming from. I saw this so many times. Everyone is important, and again, some operational teams, what you say, not will kill you. Zero touch production. How are you going to do operations? Well, we have a new world in the cloud, so we don't need to touch in production. But again, this would be another session itself, but this is a really important thing when you work to the cloud. Don't forget, you don't touch in production, period. Don't touch. Who have all of us? Take over. Infra and dev are version. When I'm saying dev is development, it's the code. So again, I'm trying to avoid the big jargon of infrastructure as a code. I think you are kind of fed up of going to YouTube or whatever. Everyone's like, we do infrastructure as a code, and then you're going to see this stuff. No, really. I saw this so many times. That's why I didn't put infrastructure as a code. But you can have everything split and you should. And that is really important. Now, simplification, doing the KISS approach, discrete and reusable infrastructure, least number of tools as possible to do the job. This is another thing to be very important because we as engineers, we like to over-engineer. But I raise my hand, it's my fault, okay? But I told you guys in the beginning I was not perfect, so I'm not perfect, okay? But I do that at home, I don't do that in the job, believe me. I like to kind of do it. And then sharing. We build to share. Document just enough. Documentation is important, but don't do PhDs, please, by all means. You don't have time for that. I don't, and I hate it. But you need to document just enough and be open-minded. Continuous improvements. Be part of the solution. There is always a better solution. Continuous monitor and improve our metrics. I keep saying this. I know this is part of SRE, but if you go to the cloud, you really need to have this in mind and take this into consideration. And now, the best deal I know that you've been waiting for. I know that is question. Look at about myself. This is me. This is me. I know. This is me and my lovely kitty. She actually, she loves to come to my lap when I'm doing video calls. This lovely gentleman that you can see, it's me. This is my favorite dish. It's called francesinha. By the way, I'm Portuguese, so this is a typical Portuguese dish. I love to play Counter-Strike. This is part of my own hobbies. I not only have got my own lab, but I do my domotic, and I participate actively in this project. This is me. Sometimes I love to try to tear people to death with my speaking and, well, you know, you see it. Let's see. Yeah, and I'm learning a bit of Arabic. I have another question. It is about this car. I have it actually, and I restored. Yeah, I know it's from Japanese market, but this is me. I've got two lovely kids. One is 3 years old that I already mentioned. And a daughter that she's 18 years old, and actually she sits down on the back, and she's with me tonight, doing dinner. That's dinner, and she's my daughter. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, just do it, and throw me a free if you want. Oh, we have one gentleman there. Do we have time for questions? A couple of questions. Let's see. Well, please. Don't.
It's a very good question. So desktop, Monolith or microservice? Sorry? Desktop, Monolith or microservice?
Oh, that's a good one. Desktop, a monolith or a microservice. But I have the answer for that, sir. That's a good one. It's for me, it's a monolith that is ready to be microservice. Why? Luke Skywalker demonstrated that was ready, and you could see like, boom.
They have a full key.
Sorry?
Full key. More Or
I'm the board view.
monolith,
That's a monolith.
it's like I said,
No, that's a monolith.
it's like in unity.
No, I'm thinking about the space.
It's a hive-minded Microsoft.
No, it's the new AI. It's probably the ChatGPT of Star Trek for me, okay, guys? Any other question? Anything, please. Technical and non-technical as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed. My name is Ricardo Moreira, and I'm DevOps.
Right, guys, it's pizza time. Okay, guys, make your way over to pizza. We'll get some more drinks out for you, and then we'll get the third and final talk underway with Neil. Thanks so much, Ricardo.
Quite a lot of slides. So DevOps dirty little secret. I'll just point out the dirty little secret isn't me. Which was when they advertised it on the internet. I didn't think that my face would be next to the title, but that's how it works. If you want to find me, you can find me here on LinkedIn at DevOps Agile. I'm a product manager at Fujitsu for their platform engineering capabilities, both internal and external. So I said DevOps as a dirty little secret. Just to be clear, I'm not coming here to bury DevOps. I'm coming here to praise it. And I'm a big fan of all this sort of work that has led through DevOps. From theory of constraints, which talks about how there are pinches in the pipeline and how to sort these things out. All the theory behind why we run into blockers, to the wonderful Phoenix project, which I'm sure many people have read. Put your hand up if you've heard of the Phoenix project. Okay, if you haven't, definitely read that book. It'll take you like a few hours. And the DevOps Handbook, which talks about all the theory of DevOps behind everything, is absolutely brilliant book. And of course, Site Reliability Engineering, Jennifer Petoff and Martin Murphy, brilliant book. And Team Topologies, the lady from the first talk was talking a lot about psychological safety and cognitive load. That is a brilliant book and really aligns well for the platform engineering. And of course this book, Wiring a Winning Organisation, kind of distills everything I've seen in the last 10 years about DevOps in this book here by Jim Kim. And it's the old favourite, Lean Startup. Right, I need to get moving with a brief history of engineering. So, know your Jedi. So, I believe there is going to be three types of engineers. Type 1, the trailblazers and pioneers of space and mainframe. So the people that got us to the moon. The Type 2 engineers, Rockstars. Another mention for the Rockstars of Internet and Cloud. And Type 3, the artificial engineer. So if you look at the top there with the dates, 1950s, 2000s, and 2050, I'm guessing this is sort of how it works. So does anybody recognise some of these Jedis? Let's see if you know them. Is it one? Does anybody recognise that? Margaret Hamilton from the from MIT Instrumentation Labs, and that is the stack of code that got us to the moon. Anybody recognise the guy in the middle? It's Linus, as in Linux and Git, so probably the biggest DevOps rock star of them all. And on the right here, it's actually an AI. So this is GitHub Copilot. So my theory is that there's been over 100 years of engineering. We'll probably see the difference between the three types of engineers: the trailblazers, the rock stars, and the type 3. We're in the middle there did this start? Did it start with IntelliSense or did it start with Copilot? Who knows? But over the last 10 years, we've had a lot of help from automation and now AI. And at some point in the future, yes, AI is going to do all the work for us. Maybe 2050 or 2040, who knows? So look, I've got 5 candidates now for DevOps 30 Little Secret, and I'm not one of them. DevOps is best kept secret. Right, so candidate 1. So in the beginning, we had a notepad, as you saw, like Margaret Hamilton had, and coffee. That's all we had for DevOps. But as we've progressed, now there are, with how many tools there are on this DevOps periodic table. If you haven't seen this before, check it out on digital.ai. And as you can see, there's a sort of quite a lot of tools now, probably 1,000. If you think about the number of tools and the number of versions of tools and all the open source things and also the things that are done by sort of small open source outfits that don't advertise as well. If we extrapolate this out over the next, 10, 20 years, we're going to end up in a situation where we have this sort of multiverse of tools, languages, and frameworks with tension. And of course, along with all of those tools, we have all these frameworks. We've got Agile, Fragile, Continuous Integration, Scrum, Kanban, whatever they are, a whole lot of those things. So, DevOps 30 Little Secret is, well, potentially candidate 1, tool, landscape, and framework. So let's move on to candidate number 2. Draw a breath quickly. So this really talks about the tools that we use, and as you can see, this is Bash, which Jim I think describes as the disease you don't die of, but no, the disease you don't die of, but you die with. And as you can see, there's been a huge evolution of what Bash looks like over the years. It's basically the same. I mean, there's been some huge version difference, but it still is the same. It's still clunky, it still has its switches, it still has this strange dollar sign at the beginning. Why is it $1? What's that for? It's incredibly clunky. And also, what happens if you want to go backwards? You can't. It's very sort of clunky and difficult to use. So, interesting, but very powerful. In fact, let's move on to another tool. YAML. Everybody loves YAML, right? We're still arguing whether it should be 2 spaces or 4 spaces or tabs. Seems like a good idea to argue about this stuff. Kelsey Hightower, who's an evangelist for Kubernetes, calls it YAML hell. I tend to agree. Don't get me wrong, what we can do with these tools is absolutely amazing. But it's quite interesting that doesn't this feel like we're sort of partying like this? 1999, a bit earlier. Anyway, let's keep going. So all those tools, all those languages, there's probably an O'Reilly book out there for each different language, from C# to Java, JavaScript to someone can remember the next. People remember the next. Scala. Excellent. One with a Z, which is apparently not a Z, it's just a tiger. So again, candidate number 2, languages and file types. So is that the dirty secret? Let's keep going. Candidate number 3. Again, the lovely lady from Cooney was talking about teams and the way we interact with teams and the psychological safety. This diagram actually comes from the team topologies book. It's all about platforms and how we take complexity away from the engineering team by doing all the hard stuff here in the platform team. So in theory, the engineering team who's working on the product can focus on that and just sort of stay in the flow and have less sort of hard things to deal with. But just a thought, right? If we're taking all this complexity away from the streamlining team of these guys, helping them to do that, who's looking after the platform team? Spare a thought for the DevOps guys. Any DevOps people in the room, DevOps engineers? How many tools do you think you use on a daily basis? Too many to count. Right answer. Too many to count. What about sort of more sort of streamlined engineer working on sort of like traditional full stack engineer? Anyone in the room? Okay. So when I was working on trading systems, what have you, I was building stuff in JavaScript in the front end, maybe C# in the back end, and maybe using Git to check stuff in. So 3 tools as opposed to maybe 300. So But also, can this cognitive load that we're taking away from these teams here, that we now put into the platform team, okay, we might be able to get rid of it through some automation and blueprinting and things like that, but can it truly be destroyed? Because I've seen what the platform team have to do day by day in my current role, and it's bloody difficult stuff. So perhaps candidate number 3 is cognitive strain. Let's continue. Candidate number 4. Okay, the invisible problem here, $1.52 trillion of clunky old software, this article from the Wall Street Journal. So, I mean, I've worked in sort of large banks where there was just thousands and thousands of apps and applications. They don't know what half of them do, they don't touch them, and they're in languages that are not supported anymore. It's a good article to read that. Obviously, that's due to technical debt. So candidate number 4, clunky old software and technical debt. Right, candidate number 5, to my friend who loves product managers. This one's for you. This is over engineering. Is this your office, sir? Nothing like this. Nothing like this. So my wife is a copywriter, a very good one. But whenever you ask her to do anything, the first thing she'll do is write. What happens when you speak to an engineer? You give them something to do, the first thing they do is engineer. And that's why we ended up with this. Maybe the floor's not so messy, but anyway, so let's keep going. So candidate number 5 over engineering. So just looking through these candidates here, so we've got hundreds of tools and frameworks and languages, file types and cognitive strain, and clunky old software and technical debt, and over engineering. There's probably like a few more examples, I'm sure, loads out there. And I'm sure you guys, have your favourite sort of programming language and think, why do I need to indent here? Or why do I need a semicolon over here? All this syntactical stuff, just getting in the way of working. So each one of these sort of things is compounding the issues, is causing us inertia. So this is probably dirty. Is DevOps' dirty little secret. We all know what it is because it was in the synopsis. It's complexity. And thanks to DALI 3, this is what it thinks complexity is. But when you think about it, every aspect of DevOps is difficult, right? From designing the pipelines, from getting it right in YAML, for choosing the right tool, for knowing the right tool. I mean, how do you even keep your brain in the knowledge zone for all of these tools? Right? Very, very difficult. So, DevOps, SRE, platform engineering, I'm sort of lobbing those things all together into DevOps. Apologies just for me doing that, but it's really bloody difficult work. So this was the promise, wasn't it? Dev, Ops, we code, we plan, we monitor, we operate, we deploy, we release, we test, and then start all over again. Really cool. And that's what sort of happened, right, in the early, 2010 to 2015, if you were sort of a high-performing DevOps team doing work for your teams, that kind of worked. But things got a bit more complicated once we introduced sort of all the hyperscalers. So each hyperscaler, AWS, GCP, Azure has a different way of working with it, their own SDKs. But then some guys brought out some tools like Terraform, which is a bit more standard. But Terraform's updating every minute, and there's an open source version, and there's a paid for version. Things are different, and it doesn't always work. It's still pretty bloody cool, right? Because you can stand up infrastructure, you can put the infrastructure in your repositories, and you can now even test it. Pretty cool. But if we extrapolate this out further, so that if this is today, 2024, I have to check, I do know what year it is, then maybe it could be like this if we're not careful. Do we want a future like this? Do we want DevOps to look like this? With all the thousands and thousands of tools, obviously the answer is no, we don't want a future like this. We want a future like this. We want a pretty infinity symbol where things are simple, the complexity is being removed. So, let's keep going. So, how do we prevent that horrible complexity image? Because that's where we're heading. Things have only got harder, they've not got easier, there's more tools to use. Too many to count. Maybe the lives of the engineers are easier, but the lives of the DevOps guys are pretty tough. So I think the way forward is culture change, but with twist.